Welcome, Kyle, to Metallarium Pages. It's a great pleasure to talk with you about Wake, this new album, Thought from Descent, and more things related to the metal world. Starting with a common question: how have you been during these crazy times? 2020,
Oh, I've been pretty.
we are started the pandemic. Now I think we're ending the pandemic. So, but a curious thing, we are now living war times in Europe. So that's crazy times. So who knows what happened the next couple of years? Alien invasion, zombie
Yeah,
apocalypse.
yeah. I mean, I've been kind of waiting for the apocalypse for the last 3 years here. It seems like it's just waiting for us, you know?
Yeah, yeah. So I've been seeing this through from Descent was 2 years before the Boring of Ruin. So this new album was composed during the pandemic, or was it before?
This album, was it written during the pandemic? Sorry.
Yes, during.
Oh no, it was written during the pandemic. Right at the end of 2021, we started writing this, and then we went to Colorado and recorded it with David Taro in September of 2022. Or no,
Well,
that was 2020. Sorry, and 2021. Yeah,
okay,
because
okay.
we've been sitting on this for almost a year now.
Okay. When I saw your style into the usual reviewers, interviewers, and a lot of things, many people said that the music for Wake is something grindcore at the beginning, then crash, but now there you are more at black death metal, extreme metal stuff. So it's very difficult to label the band. So for you,
Yeah.
what is exactly label that the band's tries to see with many people, or try to show? Sorry.
Well, it's really hard to pigeonhole Wake. I think we're just extreme metal. I think that's really the only genre that best suits us, because it's not just black metal, it's not just death metal, it's not just whatever, it's all over the
Yeah.
place. So yeah.
Yeah. For me too, you are more extreme metal than the jazz, black, or death metal, because you have a lot of styles into there, especially into the extreme metal. So, talking about again to this new album, Throw from Descent. What is what for you? Where, how, or when do you define the time to create the cover art? Because it's very amazing, the colors, the chromatic colors along there. So how do you suit this kind of cover arts to represent the whole concept on an album?
Well, I think we just kind of wanted to, I guess we wanted to stray away from just having like a regular death or black metal album cover, something that's just like looks metal. We kind of wanted to go for something a little bit different. The music came off a lot more ethereal sounding this time, a lot more spacey. We wanted the art to represent that. So the art came back and it looks, it's in that psychedelic sort of realm.
Yeah. Psychedelic. When I saw for the first time, I never think about a black death metal or extreme metal band. I just saw this is some psychedelic progressive rock from the 70s. That's okay. So into this matter, which songs for you is the best ones to play live? Perhaps it's Infinite Inward, perhaps it's Pareidolia, because sometimes the artist has a preferred one into this one, that this one brings you a lot of memories, anecdotes, etc.
Yeah, I think right now, Infinite Inward and Swallow the Light and Morning Dirge, those are the three songs that we've been playing live off of the record. When it comes out, we're going to play a couple of more. Observer to Master is my personal sleeper favorite on the record. And I don't know if we're going to end up playing that one, but it would be a cool one to add to the set.
Okay, so now what is your opinion about the extreme music nowadays? Because with a lot of mixtures, with a lot of textures, and a lot of rhythmics and dynamisms into the extreme music, how do you see now the extreme music compared to the 80s and 90s? Because In the 80s, you know about Napalm Death, Brutal Truth, Morbid Angel, etc., etc. Then the death
Yeah.
metal. Now, then in '95 starts the black metal movement around the world. So, but now the extreme metal is very different than the early days. Something more visceral, raw in some parts, more technical, progressive. There's a lot of sausage into the music now.
Yeah, man. I mean, oh, music just changes, like it, and it goes through cycles too. Like everything that was popular at one time always comes back too. And like right now in extreme music, I don't really know where we are. It is a really strange time.
Yeah.
It's hard to describe though, I think.
Yeah. So for
Yeah.
you, talking about the whole discography from Wake, now you know about this aspect. Many people thinks about their, oh, especially the fans and reviewers, said that the first two albums of one band is the great stones into the careers. No other albums. Nah. You think like that because you are a fan of music. You think from your influence like that. The first albums from Napalm Death, the first albums from Emperor, the first albums from Iron Maiden are the best ones to the date. But our counterproductive thing, according to this, is the usually the last album for the band is the best one to the date. As a cliche, sometimes many artists said that the last album is our best work to the date. So for you, how do you see these aspects? The first albums, then the middle albums, or perhaps is the best one, this new one, or perhaps do you have a preferred one into the career of From Wake? Perhaps it's Misery Rights, perhaps it's Showing the Seeds of the World is Tomorrow. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I love every album that we've done for different reasons, you know, like an album like Misery Rights, that album is, I think, our most brutal record. And I love it for the fact that it's the most brutal record. Uh Devouring, that was just like a lot more expansive, and we started to be able to throw in a lot more ideas and you know, experiment a lot more. And so at the time, yeah, that was my favorite. And now, I mean, this one's just, it's just different too, you know? And I think right now, yeah, it's our newest one. So it's probably my favorite one.
Okay, okay. One aspect that I saw along your career is that you start with the label Hearing Aids Records, and then you have a lot of labels into there. Your last label before Metal Blade, it was Translation Lost Records. So, but now
Yes.
you are on Metal Blade Records. I think the first big label around the metal world. So, how do you see this big achievement for Wake? Because now I think now many people thinks around this matter that when a band like you that Wake with a lot of stuff into there, with a lot of craziness into there, so when a band enters to the biggest label like Nuclear Blast, Metal Blader, Relapse Record, automatically the band is a mainstream band. It's not anymore an underground band.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's been great for Wake so far. You know, Translation Lost was great for us. We put a lot of great records out on that label, and everybody treated us really good. And Metal Blade, like this has just been fantastic. I've got to talk to a lot of great people. They've been, you know, doing a lot of good stuff for us. We have one more month till the record comes out, and then we'll see actually see how it does.
Yeah. And do you think
Yeah.
like this? Do you think like I said, when a band enter to a mainstream label, automatically the band turning up and a mainstream band?
Sorry, can you repeat that? You kind of cut out.
So when a band enter to the mainstream label like Metal Blade, automatically the band is a mainstream band.
I mean, that's all subjective. It depends on the listener, right?
Yeah. But according to the underground, this well, according here, and a lot of fans things like that. When a band belongs to the mainstream Century Media, Nuclear Blast, etc.,
Yeah.
all the fans think that the band is now a mainstream band. It's not possible to talk with them. You have to cross the borders with the publicity part, with a lot of stuff between the artist and the fans. So it's very difficult now, perhaps, or perhaps you see the things like always, like the first time when you formed Wake.
I mean, I think we'll always kind of be a little bit like an underground band until we're, you know, selling out arenas. Sorry,
Okay.
you're cutting out at the very end of that again. I just couldn't really hear you.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's not. That's just a common thing. So now I saw that you came from Canada, and Canada always bring us a lot of madness since Rush, then Boybot, now then Gorgut, no, then Gorguts, Cryptopsy, and now Wake, and now all this technical stuff from Canada is amazing to see. So why the extreme metal bands in Canada are continue pushing the boundaries? Perhaps it's something with the social aspects, with the community aspects in your country or perhaps in your city. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's something in the water, man, or maybe it's because weed's legal here. I don't know. Canada's always been doing that. I mean, there's been super technical death coming out of Montreal area ever since the early. You got Revenge from Edmonton, Archspire from Vancouver, Wake from Calgary. Ken Mode, Winnipeg, and all the the grind and crust scene and everything over there. It's just Canada's always had this desire to push the envelope with extreme music. I find.
Yes, yes, yes. Since Bible is an unusual band around the world because I tried to find a lot of bands with their influence. I never find one. Just when about Boybot sounds like Boybot, it's impossible to find another band like them. So and when I listen Cryptopsy,
Yeah,
the same.
exactly.
When I now the dissonant element that Gorguts create in the 90 and 98 with the Obscura, now a lot of bands follow that path with the dissonant and technical
Yeah.
elements. And now you bring a lot of craziness with grindcore and a lot of stuff. So that's why I always ask me about the what kind of breakfast did you take in the morning to do this kind of music all the time?
It's weed and coffee, man. I'm telling you.
Okay. Okay. Other aspect along the career of Wake is that you did 3 splits with other bands along the world. How was the experience to bring splits with other bands in during your discography?
I mean, it's cool. It's been a long time since Wake's done a split, but I mean, doing a split with a band's always a fun experience. You have your band sound, their sound, just throw out this little 7-inch or whatever. I like splits are great. It's been a long time since we've done them though.
Yes, 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 yes. So talking about this new album for you, what is the biggest strange that this thought from Descent has compared to the early records in the band? Because as I said, there are a lot of extreme new metal world, and it's very a lot of madness with Spotify, iTunes. They're too much. They're too much to hear now. And why this new album is so big, so different than the a lot of stuff into common?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's Wake has always been pretty hard to put into a genre, and on this album, I think we pushed that envelope of experimentation pretty far, and I think that's what's going to put it apart from a lot of records, because this album is it's heavy and it's brutal, but it also sounds really pretty at the same time. So I think that's what makes it stand out a little bit in that giant pool of bands.
Okay, okay. And what is your opinion about talking about this aspect about the digital platforms, now the digital era? Because now is a great way to share music now, but at the same time, it's like easy way to hear just 1 or 2 songs into this kind of platforms. So for you, which is where is below where the digital platforms is good or bad for the music? And
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, I understand that digital music, it's a necessary kind of evil in the industry. I mean, now I think people kind of take it for granted because, yeah, like you said, you can just listen to one song and then you judge an entire album off of that one song, and then you're on to the next because there is such an abundance of music out there. For me, I've tons of records behind me. I love my physical media. And when I buy a record, it's that ritual of you take the record out, you put it on the turntable, put it on, you listen to it from front to back. And you know what? If you don't like it, you spent money on it. So you listen to it again to try and like it, you know, and
Yeah.
then sometimes you can find an appreciation for that record. I like the aspect of being able to just get your music out there, even without a label. You know, you just put that on Bandcamp, do whatever, put it on YouTube, and you know, it's available for people to listen to, which I think is great. But yeah, I think it's more of a necessary evil than it is necessary.
Yes, yes, yes. So with this aspect, as you can see now, with YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, and more digital platforms, so you can see the playlist with 1, 2, 3 songs with this with the, from an album. And now I think we're returning back to the 40s to 50s, when the music just plays with one single and two singles, and then the band will be popular in the future. So for you, are you the accord with this kind of aspect that the labels now doing, just releasing singles, because as you can see now, Nuclear Blast and City Mia doesn't present whole album, just present one single and said this single belongs to the single, just not said single belongs to the album.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I think it works for certain kind of music in the realm of like electronic music or hip hop or something. I think that way of doing things works. In metal, I don't really think so. Like for me, I like to listen to an album from front to back. You know, when I listen to music, I listen to the first song all the way to the last one. I don't even listen to a lot of playlists. I don't like to split up albums a lot.
Yeah,
You know, and I think that experience of a full album from the first song to the last song is very crucial. I know not everybody listens to music the same way, but that's how I personally think it should be.
okay, okay. So we are better than to end this interview, Kyle. And what are the future plans that the band has for this new album? Perhaps more videos upcoming, perhaps a North American tour, perhaps a European tour, or who knows, in the near future, and Latin American tour, because this album will be grateful if I can see live.
Yeah, man. Well, we'd love to come see you. We have some dates in Canada as soon as it comes out. And after that, we're just working on a bunch of stuff. We have a bunch of stuff in the works, maybe some Europe, going back to the States again. But I mean, we'll go anywhere. If you're out there and you hear it, you want us to come, book us. We'll come play.
Okay, okay. Well, Kyle, the sad times arrive at this interview. I hope you enjoyed this one as I did, and really, really appreciate your time, and congratulations for this new beast. It's really, really a new beast for all the streaming listeners. So perhaps you want to add something to your Latin American fans and Metalerium followers.
I just want to say thanks for having me, and hopefully people dig the record when it comes out.